Edgar TV.
How do there, guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV. And today what I want to look at is the top 16 of the PDC World Rankings. Now recently we've seen some big changes. Johnny Clayton got a ranking title now at last after winning a couple of non-ranked TV events, and that's seen him go up to number 7 in the World Rankings. It's the majors that do it. It's the majors that make these big jumps and these big moves, and most of the time, if you're not making big runs in these majors, you're not going to be in the top 16 of those World Rankings. With that in mind, most of the people in like the top 8 are major winners. So if they're not defending them, they're going to see big drops off and pretty quick as well. It got me thinking how much the top 16 has changed over the last couple of years without us really realising, because you just watch it and follow it moving forward. You don't ever rewind it back and see where they are. Now the PDC World Rankings works on a 2-year system. Johnny Clayton won the World Grand Prix, £110,000 in prize money. However, that means in 2 years, so 2023, Johnny Clayton will be defending the £110,000 in prize money. So if he wins £10,000, he'll get the £10,000 as actual physical cash. But when it comes down to his ranking, he will lose £100,000 off of his ranking because he only won 10, whereas defending 110. So, like I said, there can be some big changes throughout the years. I'm going to have a little look at those today. So let's just rewind it 2 years and see what the changes are with the top 16, which at the side. This side, the top 16, which is this side, and the top 16 from 2 years ago. So you'll see here side by side the top 16 now on the left and the top 16 from 2 years ago on the right hand side there. Michael Van Gerwen down from 1 down to 3. Rob Cross from 2 to 12. So you can see some changes here, but most of them are within the top 16. James Wade's had a bit of a revival from 9 up to 4. But some of these players are no longer in the top 16, and some of them are no longer in the top 32. Take number 16, for example, there, Adrian Lewis. Number 13, Darren Webster, the biggest dropper from 2 years ago, actually, down to world number 53, Darren Webster, but also likely to lose a card due to the fact of the prize money he's defending from the major events at the back end of the year. So, one to keep an eye on there. Mensur Suljovic, also outside of the top 16. Simon Whitlock, outside of the top 16. So there we go. In total, 4 players are no longer even in the top 16 from 2 years ago. So you can see how it can change. In fact, make it 5, because I've just seen Ian White's actually dropped out there into 17 as well. So 5 people out the top 16 and not been able to hold those places. You might not think that's too bad. A couple of people moving up, down, left, right, a couple of little changes. But what about if we rewind it 5 years? This is where we see significant change, and you wouldn't believe the amount of change you can have in a 5-year period. We'll take Phil Taylor, 1, Robert Thornton, 2, Terry Jenkins, 3. 3 of these players from the top 16 from just 5 years ago no longer have a PDC Tour card. Does that mean we could be looking at the top 16 now and see maybe some of these players won't have a tour card in 5 years' time, 2026? Maybe Gary Anderson would probably be the most likely out of these players to no longer have that tour card. Anyone else in there you think that might no longer have a card in 5 years' time? Let me know in the comment section below from today's 2016, from today's World Championship rankings. Along with that, we've got players that have dropped out of the top 16. We've got obviously Adrian Lewis, who we spoke about just recently, Ian White, who we just spoke about recently, Simon Whitlock again. So longevity for those guys over the years, but just dropping out there in recent times. Also Van Barneveld, Vincent van der Voort and Mervyn King. So actually not many survivors in there over the last sort of 5-year period. You've got to look at people like James Wade's always around that top 10. Michael Smith still around the 8-9 sort of mark. So very good longevity and consistency there over time. But it just makes you think, like I say, where are the people going to be in the years to come when we look at the rankings now? Obviously, I would mention Rob Cross has got a lot of money to defend. Nathan Aspinall has got some big chunks of money to defend coming up as well. So who do you think in the top 16 now is going where? I think James Wade's going nowhere, as always. Peter Wright's always going to be up in that area. I think Gerwyn Price, even if he gets knocked off of that number 1 spot, is probably going to be there for some time. So Lots of big changes there over that 5 year and that 2 year period. Hope you've enjoyed just having a little look back there at the top 16. We haven't delved too much into it, we haven't gone too deep, but we've had a look at where they are now and in relation to what has happened over the last couple of years. Keep in mind, like I say, that ranking money is defended every 2 years, so we could see some big changes over the next couple of months as darts gets into silly season with the Euros, the Grand Slam, the Players' Championships, and obviously the World Championships, which is the biggest ranking mover of all the events, making up for quite a big chunk of everybody's prize money, which we have looked at in a previous video. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit a like on it, guys, and I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV. Edgar TV.